Your 20s are a strange place financially. One minute, you feel like you're just getting started in life, and the next minute, it feels like everyone around you is already successful. Your friends are buying expensive cars they can't really afford. People are taking massive student loans for degrees they're not even sure about. Social media is full of luxury vacations, fancy dinners, and lifestyles that look perfect. And meanwhile, you're sitting there wondering, am I doing something wrong with my money? Because somehow your bank account keeps showing the same depressing number every month. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't realize until it's too late. The purchases you make in your 20s quietly decide whether your 30s will be about building wealth or surviving paycheck to paycheck. Most people get this completely backwards. They think their 20s are for spending, partying, and living life, and their 30s are when they'll finally get serious about money. But that's like saying you'll start training for a marathon the night before the race. By then, the race has already begun. The people who become financially free early in life don't necessarily earn more money. They simply make different decisions early. And today, we're talking about 7 purchases in your 20s that can completely change the trajectory of your financial future. These aren't flashy, they're not Instagram-worthy, but they are the exact types of decisions that separate people who escape the financial rat race from those who stay stuck in it for decades. Let's start with the first one. 1. Invest in a side hustle. The first purchase might sound strange at first, because technically it's not a single item. It's an investment into a side hustle. Now I know what you might be thinking. A side hustle isn't really a purchase, but here's where most people misunderstand. Almost every successful side hustle requires some upfront investment. It might be buying a camera for photography, purchasing tools for a service business, paying for website hosting in a domain, investing in software, or even buying books and courses to learn a valuable skill. And in your 20s, this might be the single most powerful financial move you can make, because unlike a regular job, a side hustle has unlimited income potential. Your salary might increase slowly over time, but a successful side hustle can suddenly multiply your income. And the best part about starting one in your 20s, you have something incredibly valuable: time. You probably don't have a mortgage yet. You probably don't have kids. You likely don't have huge financial responsibilities, which means you can experiment. You can try things. You can fail. You can start again. And if one of those experiments works, it can completely change your financial future. The key is not chasing whatever's trending online. Instead, build something around skills you already have. Good with technology? Start learning web design. Good with cars? Offer detailing services. Good with social media? Help local businesses with marketing. The goal isn't instant success. The goal is to build a second stream of income that grows over time. Because the people who become financially independent rarely rely on just one paycheck. 2. Invest in index funds early. The second purchase is far less exciting, but it's arguably one of the most powerful wealth-building tools ever created: index funds, specifically through tax-advantaged accounts like a Roth IRA. Now, I know investing can sound intimidating, but index funds are actually one of the simplest investments in the world. Instead of trying to pick individual stocks, you simply invest in a fund that tracks an entire market. For example, an S&P 500 index fund automatically spreads your investment across 500 of the biggest companies in America, which means you're not betting everything on one company, you're betting on the entire economy. But the real magic here is something called compound interest. Let's say you invest just $200 per month starting at age 22. That's less than $7 a day. If that investment grows at about 10% annually, which is close to the historical average of the stock market, by the time you reach retirement age, you could have over $1 million just from investing $200 per month. But here's the part that surprises most people. If you wait just 10 years and start at 32 instead of 22, you might end up with hundreds of thousands of dollars less. Why? Because compound interest loves time. Your money starts earning money. Then that money earns more money, and over decades, the growth becomes exponential. That's why your 20s are the most powerful investing decade of your life, not because you have more money, but because you have more time. Number 3, buy plane tickets, travel smart. Now this one might sound unusual on a financial list, but it's incredibly important. Buy plane tickets, travel, but do it strategically. This isn't about blowing your savings on luxury vacations just to post pictures online. This is about expanding your perspective. Traveling teaches lessons that no classroom ever can. When you navigate unfamiliar cities, solve problems in new environments, meet people from different cultures, you develop something incredibly valuable: confidence. And confidence often leads to opportunities. Many people meet business partners, mentors, or career-changing connections while traveling. Travel also forces you out of your comfort zone, and growth rarely happens inside comfort. The smart way to do this is by using travel rewards credit cards. Use them for your normal expenses, pay them off in full every month, and collect points. Those points can turn everyday spending into free flights and discounted travel. Plus, responsible credit card use helps you build a strong credit score, which will become extremely valuable later in life. Number 4, invest in education, but not in debt. The fourth purchase is education, but not the kind that leaves you buried in $100,000 of debt. Instead, focus on practical learning, books, online courses, workshops, skill-building programs. A $20 book can change the way you think about money. A $200 course can teach a skill that increases your income for decades. But you must be careful here. The internet is full of overpriced courses promising instant success. If someone is selling a $1,000 program while posing next to a rented Lamborghini, run. Instead, learn from people who have real experience and proven results. Skills like sales, digital marketing, coding, video editing, copywriting, public speaking, entrepreneurship. These skills are income multipliers, and your brain is incredibly adaptable in your 20s, which means you can learn faster now than you ever will again. Every skill you learn becomes part of your lifelong toolkit. Number 5, buy real estate when possible. The fifth purchase is one that scares a lot of people in their 20s, real estate, but it can be one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available. Real estate builds wealth in 3 major ways. First, properties tend to increase in value over time. Second, rental income can provide consistent cash flow. Third, you can use leverage, meaning you control a valuable asset with a relatively small down payment. But if buying property feels impossible right now, consider something called house hacking. For example, buy a duplex, live in one unit, rent out the other, or buy a house and rent out extra rooms to roommates. In some cases, that rental income can cover most or even all of your mortgage, meaning other people are essentially paying for your investment. And over time, you build equity. Real estate isn't passive, it requires effort, but the wealth-building potential can be enormous. Number 6, buy cheap, reliable transportation. Now here's one that can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Buy transportation, not a status symbol. Most people in their 20s fall into the same trap. They want a car that looks successful, so they finance a $30,000 or $40,000 vehicle with long monthly payments. But cars are not investments, they are depreciating assets. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it instantly loses thousands of dollars. Instead, buy something reliable and affordable. A 3 to 5-year-old Toyota, a Honda Civic, a car known for durability. These vehicles can easily last 200,000 miles or more. And if you avoid a $500 monthly car payment and invest that money instead, over decades, that decision alone could turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Financial freedom often starts by eliminating unnecessary monthly payments. And finally, the 7th purchase is one most people ignore: your health. Because when you're in your 20s, you feel invincible. You can survive on fast food, energy drinks, 4 hours of sleep, but eventually, your body sends the bill. Health determines everything: your energy, your productivity, your ability to work hard, your ability to enjoy the wealth you build.
You don't need expensive gyms or personal trainers. Just focus on the fundamentals. Eat better, sleep consistently, exercise regularly. Your health is the engine behind every other goal you pursue. Without energy and mental clarity, even the best financial strategy becomes difficult to execute. Conclusion: all 7 of these purchases have one thing in common. They prioritize long-term success over short-term gratification. Most people spend their 20s trying to look successful, but the people who build real wealth focus on becoming successful quietly over time. Every smart decision compounds, every investment grows, every skill multiplies, and every habit builds momentum. 10 years from now, you'll either thank your younger self or wish you had started sooner. Because your 20s will pass whether you make these decisions or not. The only question is, will you build a future